Hello? Alright, sorry.
Gonna get the go-ahead just now. Gonna get the go-ahead just now. Oh, we're all good to go. Good evening, everyone. Sorry about that. Suarez has just joined right on time. Good evening, everyone, and welcome to TTL F1 League 2. We are here for round 2 of the championship, and it's your home Grand Prix, Paco. We're here in Spain for the Spanish Grand Prix at the Circuit de Catalunya. Of course, good evening, everyone. I'm James Head. Going to be taking you the action, as always, on a Friday night. This evening is, of course, Mr. Paco Suarez. Paco, how you doing?
Hello everyone, sorry for being late. I was having some issues connecting to PSN, but in the end I was able to, and yeah, excited about the race. They've shown us that generally we have good show on track, and why not today having the same scenes, you know? So probably we will have good racing today in Spain.
If we have anything like the legendary battle that we had between Key and Storm last week in Bahrain, then you are in for a right old treat here tonight for TTL F2. And of course it was Key who took the win in Bahrain, unlocked himself for first position. I had to use that pun in there. Storm finishing in second and Pariah finishing in third position. And Key also awarded Driver of the Day. How does that reflect on the standings? And we'll run through these in a little bit more detail because we have got about 5 minutes until we are supposed to start. Key leading on 25 points, from Storm in second on 18 and Pariah in third on 15. Obviously Bahrain happened last week, Paco. Top 3 pretty much right up there throughout.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, like, to be honest, I think that we have, how to say it, we have a really competitive grid. I mean, we have because Mashiro in the challenge event, he showed some dominance, you know, but then in Bahrain he had issues and he was not up there where he should, and this shows that if you're not consistent to be on top, probably you're not gonna be able to fight for the championship.
I think with Mashiro, he was actually quite unlucky last week out on track. I think he got caught up in a few incidents out on track. And obviously, hopefully, we're going to see him back to his best and hopefully back to his dominant self as we normally do. And of course, it was, as I say, Key who took the win. Looking down the rest of the standings, and I'll run through these now. Access was fourth, but Mashiro did finish 5th in that Bahrain race. I think it's a performance that he can be proud of. He came back through the field from, I think, nearly last position last week. I think he should do well here tonight. Hades in 6th on 8, with Atlas Copo in 7th on 6, White Billy in 8th on 4, then Jeffrey in 9th on 3. He got the fastest lap of the race within the top 10, and Maze on that 1 point. Pretty easy standings would have been the first round of the championship, because you just have to run through what happened last week.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, it makes the commentator job easier, you know. But probably after this race, we'll have some more trouble.
I think we will. I honestly think this race in Spain, where we are known for overtaking, where we are known for a DRS train, it's really going to ensure, I think, a fair playing field here tonight for the drivers out on track. McLaren do lead the way on 35 points within the constructors. Toro Rosso second on 23. Racing Point and Alfa Romeo tied for third on 18 points, with Haas in 5th on 4 points, Red Bull in 6th on 3, and Renault in 7th on 1. Mercedes and Ferrari, the two big teams, yet to score any points this season, but of course we're just one round in and anything can happen here.
Yeah, definitely it can. Imagine Williams scoring some points, you know. They are being really loyal to reality. I mean, being last in the constructors, but probably today is a good day to change that tendency, you know. Let's see if the William guys can actually score some points today. Well, actually the William guy, because it's only Lord Holton, it seems, racing for Williams today.
Lord Holton, I think the other driver, if I'm not mistaken, off the top of my head, is YWR Storm, who I think is not attending here tonight, which is a shame, but Williams only down to the one driver currently. Hopefully, though, we are going to see Williams do score some points, and hopefully Mercedes and Ferrari will score some points sooner rather than later as well. We're here in Spain, your home track, Paco, and 16 corners around here. This should be a real tricky track for the drivers to get a grip of.
Definitely it should, and just to give some advices or to give some important key points to bear in mind today. You have to really watch out for the exit of turn 2 because it's really tricky. If you touch too much of that curb, you definitely lose the back end, and definitely you have some more interesting points or corners in this circuit. For example, the second DRS straight, that exit you have to watch out because you can have a warning for track extendings really easy. And you have to watch out to not lose the back end again. About the setup in that circuit, I think it's pretty easy forward to make a setup. I mean, you don't need that much straight line speed, so probably we will see most drivers carrying aerodynamic setups. And about racing, well, you've said it, it's a difficult track to overtake, it's a difficult track to see battling, but these drivers are capable of everything, so why not seeing a good race tonight?
I think honestly tonight we are going to see a fantastic track, and looking at the graphics there coming up, the graphics all working perfectly fine. Honey Badger using the new graphics and overlays for our stream here tonight, and a big shout out to him because he did last night as well in TTL F1, once again here to guide us through on the stream. So hopefully you guys are getting the fancy stuff. Well, everyone on my channel, and because I'm streaming obviously from my channel, which is then being broadcasted to the main channel, everyone on my channel is probably expecting, what the hell's this? It's TTL F1 and we are here for League 2 around Spain, and we're just moments away from qualifying. What I'm going to do in the meantime though, because my voice is hurting like mad, I'm going to go downstairs for a drink. So Paco, you can be in the commentary box by yourself for a couple of minutes if you don't mind.
Yes, alright. So, we are heading to qualifying. Basically, probably the strategy to do in Spain is medium hards, if I'm not mistaken. So, most of the drivers will probably go on mediums to do their fastest lap. Unless there's rain incoming, that could be a key factor today. And about the race, I mean, it's 33 laps, if I'm not wrong. So it's actually a long race. I mean, you have plenty of time to try and make your strategy work. If you are caught up in an incident in lap 1, you still have time to try and make a comeback through the field. Probably not the most easy circuit to try and overtake. And it seems we have dry track, it seems. I would say that's dry. I think it is, basically. Yeah, it is. So there shouldn't be problems to try and go for mediums or hards, depending on the strategy they are. The clock has started its countdown, and we should start seeing drivers going out of their pits. I would say if I have to bet for someone to take pole, well, probably I would go for the easy choice, you know, Mashiro, but seeing what Storm has done in different qualies, I think that probably today it's a perfect day to show that he can be a serious, an interesting title contender. As we can see, the first cars going out, I think it's a McLaren was the first one, and behind him is a Toro Rosso. It's a Piraya 22. So, he's on hards. Most of the drivers, I think that they've gone out on tracks, and I think that we have James back.
We do indeed, yeah. Key, the first one out on track, and I think you were running through the strategies there. In terms of the strategies, I think out on track, you're definitely going to see a set of hard compounded tyres and a set of mediums here, and it does look a bit overcast compared to last night where we had blue skies. It does look a bit overcast, which will really play into these guys on a set of mediums, especially because they will operate at a much lower temperature because of the cold tyres. Am my team a bit out of breath? I am. I've just gone and got a drink. Goodness me. Oh.
Don't worry.
Don't worry.
And about what you said about the strategy, yeah, you're right. I mean, it's an easy medium hards. Probably if you go with a soft, it would be difficult to make a one stop. You would have to go on hards. But if you go on softs, it will be really difficult to keep temperatures low and all that. So probably most of the drivers today will go on hards or mediums.
Yep, Key coming through turn 1 then and now through turn 2. Very tight and twisting section, high speed corners and low speed corners around here in Spain at the Circuit de Catalunya, and Key now running up towards turn 4. 22.2 through the first sector, which is exactly what you would expect, I think, on a set of hard compound of tyres around here. Key then down the hill in towards turn 5. Heavy braking zone, you've got the mast of the apex on the inside. Now through the kink at turn 6 towards this very tricky chicane at turn 7 and 8. One wheel onto the inside curve there, you will pick up an invalidation. Key making that look pretty easy though, the current championship leader, as he comes through turn 9. Just having a little bit of a lift off through there, but looking good as he comes now down towards the end of the middle sector to 52 flat through the middle sector for Key. Now through turn 10 and then into the very tight and twisting section. This is what I'm on about the low speed corners. Through turn 12, then running all the way downhill towards the line from here. 13, then through the tricky chicane at 14 and 15, again dipping one wheel onto the inside curb, might pick up an invalidation. Key making that look like pretty nicely though, and he's ran the final corner and across the line. I think this is going to be a 1:19.6, which on the hard is not a bad lap at all.
No, it's not, and Piraya is just gonna finish his lap, and it seems it's 1:19.5, so it's faster than Kiki, and definitely that's a really good lap. So today maybe we're seeing a tight quali again, like in Bahrain.
I think we will see a tight qualifying. It was very close. I think it was 9/10 separating the top 10 last night out on track, if I recall, in TTL F1. I think it'll even be tighter here tonight. I'm just running aboard with Conti, who is coming towards the final couple of corners. I don't think he's on any sort of lap here though, as he comes around the final corner. Yeah, he's just going to set himself up, but it's good to get a banker lap in. He'll go 5th, I think, with this, as Conti comes across the line. And yeah, 22.5, but he's going to go a hell of a lot quicker. Charlie coming through the final sector. Oh, and he spins full 360. He's got the car going again. That will be one for the replay cameras for sure. Charlie ran through turn 10, but a very good recovery that was.
Yeah, definitely it was. I mean, loads in the back end, you know, and being able to get back on track without any further incidents, that's good controlling of the car, you know. And we can see the Storm, meanwhile, have set a really good time just behind Piraya with a 1:19.575. And just behind Kiki is Puzzles with a 1:19.676. So once again, I think we're gonna see a tight top 5, top 4 probably, as we've already seen sometimes really close from each other.
Yeah, top 5 separated by just over 0.5 of a second out on track. Just saw Jeffrey coming across the line there to set a lap 1:22.3 on a set of hard compound of tyres, but inevitably, as the conditions will improve through the track, the times will improve through the track. And I think Lord Hulton has just gone up into 8th position. The Soul Williams out on track tonight, 20.4, 9/10 separating the top 8 out on track. And in the early stages, Pariah out on top from Storm in 2nd. Storm now coming around the final corner to prepare on for another lap. Right on board though with Key as he comes through turn 9 once again. The current championship leader, 300s up through the first sector. He's using up that DRS range to perfection, and he's 300s up again through the middle sector as he comes through here. Very nice indeed. The yellow flag just behind him was a racing point getting out of the way. I think that might have been Charlie. Key though ran the final couple of corners now, through in towards the tight twisting section of sector 3, now through turn 13, now through 14 and 15, just catching the curb on the inside, unsettles the car slightly, but a very good run off the final across the line. Can he go ahead of Pariah? He does.
He does. Key
by 200ths of a second, finding a 10th in the final sector. Key top, but look at the top 3 separated by 3/4 of a 10th.
Yeah, I mean, we're gonna have an insane qualifying here, and we haven't had Mashiro haven't had a lap yet. I mean, he's on his out lap, so we still have some drivers that generally are up there to set a time. So probably we're gonna see a really interesting quality today.
It should be really interesting. Was just right on board with Maximus. You were right, Mashiro's just got out of the way of Maximus there. So Maximus currently coming around the final couple of corners. Did well in practice, actually, Maximus. He was a bit late into the session, but he did well within the practice session. And Maximus now across the line goes 7th behind Tom. But interesting to note, Passelt and Tom on a set of soft compound of tyres. Now, I said this with Spike last night. Softs, if you are going for softs in qualifying, that is the wrong strategy.
Yeah, definitely. But last week, I think Passelt also did the same in Bahrain, you know, qualifying with the softest tire. Probably because maybe he doesn't seem himself with that speed, you know, and probably he prefers that position on track, you know, rather than going for a good strategy. So we'll see how it works out, but generally it's not a good sign if you start on softs.
Definitely not a good sign, and I think 2 stops for guys that go on to a set of softs, they have to go under a set of hards. I'm just running on board with Conti, just losing a bit of opposite lock there through turn 12. We'll run on board with Mashiro on his lap as well in just a second, but Conti coming around the final couple of corners now has looked quite consistent here throughout this lap, coming across the line. I think he might go ahead of Billy at this rate. Oh, he's just gone behind him by about 600th of a second, but goes up into 6th. Mashiro then through the final 2 corners, and the Japanese man, the sole Japanese driver, is going to set a banker lap. It's not going to be anywhere near the top though. He goes 13th, but it's how important is it to set a banker lap around here in Spain?
Well, I mean, Spain is a track that you can invalidate easily with a silly mistake. So generally having a banker lap gives you a boost of confidence, you know, for doing other laps to try and push a little bit more. So I would say it's pretty important, pretty good to have a banker lap. And probably most of the drivers, I think that are on hards, probably they haven't done their best yet. I think they can improve a lot more.
Yeah, they definitely can. I was just flying on board with Daniil there. He was on a set of soft compactor tyres, 1.1 seconds up through the middle sector, then deciding to come back into the pits, which I think is probably the wisest strategy. He's probably just trying to do a bit of a race sim to try and calculate up how much the tyres wear out on a full qualifying lap in terms of the race as well. It's about 4 or 5%, I think. Conti is round through the middle sector. Not sure what happened there with Conti, but he has spun round through the middle sector, just trying to pick up on anybody that is on a lap. Pariah, who's currently second, is coming around the final couple of corners now. The Toro Rosso man, as Mashiro just coming across the line there to set a 19.3. So Mashiro goes quicker than both Pariah and Key, and he goes to the top spot, and we're halfway through qualifying here. Mashiro on top, from Key in second, Pariah third, Stallman fourth, Passelt on fifth. Remember, he's on a set of soft compound of tyres. Billy now up to 6th with a good lap, with Conti in 7th. Tom in 8th, he's on a set of softs as well. Maximus in 9th, Daniil rounding off the top 10. Jeffrey in 11th, top 11 separated by just over a second out on track. With Lord Hulton 12th, Atlas Copel 13th, who I think is improving on this lap. We'll ride on board with him. Charlie in 14th, Axner, Schumi, Mays and Hades still not yet to set a time. Very interesting actually that Hades has not set a time just yet. He's probably one of the favourites for pole position.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, he's pretty fast, and I think that last week, if he hadn't been held by his teammate, probably he would have probably have more chances to actually go for podium or even higher. So today I think it's the perfect moment to try and show that he can perfectly be up there with the rest. And I have to remind the thing is that last week I think top 2 were the McLarens, and once again they are coping. They are being first and second, so pretty solid quality from McLaren.
Yeah, Mashiro, I think he set pole position, if I'm not mistaken, in... Oh, sorry, it was Pariah, I think, that was set pole position, if I recall, from the graphic that I had. I didn't have it up with me, sadly, but I'm sure Mashiro was good up in qualifying, but then it just fell to pot. I think he had early contact within the race, and that's why he finished 5th in the race. Key, on the other hand, won the race, so the McLaren's definitely looking quite strong out on track. We saw Mays there coming out of the pits. I'm just trying to pick on anybody that is on a lap. Tom is not on one. Billy, however, in the middle sector is. Mays is coming around in towards the final sector, so we'll ride on board in the meantime with Billy. Currently 19.9 out on track. He's still on a set of hard compound of tyres. How do you think he's going on this lap?
Probably... I don't really know.
Oh, he's up by 2/10. Middle sector.
Yeah, I'm watching. Trying on mediums, right?
No, he's on a set of hards.
Oh, all right, yeah. Now I'm watching, definitely. Yeah, he's going through the last couple of corners, trying to hit the apex really well. Really important to have a good exit round here, while Jeffrey sets 119.1 with the mediums, and he goes to the pits, if I'm not wrong.
Yeah, Billy into the pits. Jeffrey, they'll go in top, 19.1. There was a car ahead, and I was thinking he's on an outlap, this guy, but he's not. Jeffrey goes top with a 19.1. That's why I should really cover the action. Daniil, an 18.3 on a set of mediums. What a lap. 8/10 ahead of Jeffrey. That is the difference between a top 10 performance in qualifying and a bottom 10 performance in qualifying. That's a brilliant lap.
Yeah, definitely, it's brilliant. And I was going to say that Jeffrey's lap was pretty weak and he did it way too early. Although Daniel, despite doing it a bit early in qualifying, you know, because you still have 5 minutes and there's a massive difference between minute 5 and minute 2. Like, it's a pretty good lap, and probably it's a serious candidate for pole today.
Another serious candidate for pole, goodness me, as he drifts through turn 9 is Hades, and he's currently on a lap, and it's a 51.9 through the middle sector for Hades, looking to be towards the top end of the hard runners at this stage in qualifying as we approach the 4-minute mark. In qualifying, Daniil, Jeffrey, Mashiro, your current top 3, but I think Hades is going to probably jump up maybe into second with this lap as he cuts the final 2 corners nicely through the Toro Rosso, through the final corner. He's going to go, I think, second with this. Across the line, Hades, he goes 4th, and he's 8,000ths off Mashiro. He just looked like he lost a little bit of time in that chicane through the final sector. And actually, I think he's got right side end plate damage. No, he hasn't. That's my eyes. I need my eyes testing.
Don't worry, I mean, until today I still confuse left and right, so you shouldn't apologize, you know.
Charlie's just gone second, by the way, 19 flat out on track. About a 10th ahead of Jeffrey. I think he'll be happy with that lap.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, Charlie was struggling a lot. I mean, he spun 2 times with the hard tire, having damage in the front wing, and definitely 19 flat with the medium tires is not that bad.
Just see Maximus come to the end of his lap there, 19.8 for Maximus, so just 2/10 off Passels, who was on a set of soft compound of tyres. And interesting to see actually that Tom is also on a lap. He's just gone onto one now. He's also on a set of soft compound of tyres and really fighting the car through turns 2 and 3. That is not how to do turns 2 and 3, and Pumpkin Man, I think, maybe needs to take his mask off to try and see where he's going, to be honest.
Yeah, I mean, actually, like, I don't know how this is gonna end, but definitely most of the people are really, really close, and I would not be able to predict actually a pole candidate now. Like, probably if I say someone, I would just curse him, you know, and he would do horribly wrong, because that's what always happens, you know. You bet for someone and then he does badly, but. And we can see yellow flag, someone lost it. It was Toro Rosso, right?
No, Mashiro. Yeah, Toro Rosso lost it in the middle sector. Mashiro was just on board with, lost it actually through turn 11. Just got caught on the curb a little bit too much. He was 8/10 down on his lap anyways. But we'll ride on board with Mashiro, who was invalidated his lap, and he was 2/10 up through the first sector. 2.2 seconds down now though with that invalidated lap. He's on a set of mediums, so we should expect him to go towards the top end of the field. We'll go on board though with the driver that's behind him directly out on track, Axnes, who is coming around the final couple of corners. And yes, that will be a very difficult name to pronounce when you have a bit of a skinful down here. Jeffrey is has retired from the session, 19.1, but Axnes now coming around the final couple of corners. There's a McLaren, I think, just ahead of him, which is Mashiro. Axnes across the line goes second, 18.7. Nice lap.
definitely is a pretty solid lap. I mean, probably not good enough to be on top 5. Probably he'll be top 10, but I don't think he'll be inside the top 5. As we can see that many drivers are already on the lap. We can see Storms going through the second sector on the mediums, going on overtake mode, trying to push and hitting the apex. Now he opens DRS as he gets to that left-handed corner just after the second sector. As this part of the circuit is really like it requires a lot of skill, you know, it's really technical. And we can see he tries to hit the apex, trying to not lose the car and trying to gain as much time as possible. As we can see many people retiring, and Mashiro is one of them. So this could give a Storm a big chance. Will he take advantage of? No, he doesn't.
Second.
1:18.6, 3/10 behind Daniel.
Who was that? Was just jumping up as well. I think that was Conti going 6th position as well. Key is on a lap.
And Lord Holton.
The current leader of the championship, 6/10 up in the middle sector. He's got to find a hell of a lot of time. I think Daniil's lap is a very special one to beat. Can Key beat this though? He's ran the final corner. I don't think he will. Across the line. No, 18.5. He just falls 2/10 short. So Key across the line. He would have had a chance for another lap, but I don't think he had the field within him. There's not many drivers on a lap. Pariah has just gone up into 4th position with an 18.6, I think that was. And Billy is on a lap. No, he's not. I think that is.
Hades is on a lap.
Oh yeah, Hades is on a lap. He's through the middle sector. So through turn 6. And now on, this is turn 6, and then up towards turn 7 and 8, which is the chicane. Hannah's the only one then on track that can actually set a quicker lap than Daniil at this stage. He has got it within him, and through the middle sector, that was very, very neat through there. Hannah is through the middle sector. What is it? It's a 51.5. He's 3/10 up. It will get him to Lord Holton Axner's sort of area, but I don't think he's looking quick enough through the middle sector. Now coming through the final couple of corners, through turn 12 and then down the hill all the way to the line from pretty much here on in, through turn 13, through 14 and 15. Can Hades get the run through the final corner to try and beat Daniil? This will be Recon and TTL F1 stuff. Can Hades beat Daniil? I don't think he can, but he goes 4th and he's just ahead of his teammate. So Hades goes 4th. That is the end of qualifying. Everyone is done. Daniil, with that special 18.3, is on pole.
Yeah, I mean, it was an impressive lap. I didn't think that he would get pole, but in the end he did. And one of the keys why Hades didn't get higher, I think it's because he managed the ERS horribly. I mean, he was on hot lap mode the whole lap, and when he got to the end of the chicane, you know, he was without ERS, and that probably cost him 1/10. Probably he could have been second, and he just lost that time. But look at that. I mean, top 5 just in 3.5 tenths. I mean, that's insane.
That's fantastic for League 2. It is Daniil who takes pole position for the Ferrari team, with Key in 2nd, Storm in 3rd, the 2 Torossos 4th and 5th, Hades and Pariah, Access in 6th, Lord Holton, Charlie, Conti, Jeffrey, Mashiro, Passels, Maximus, Billy, Maze, Tom, Atlas Coco, Shumi, the only one not to set a time. The top 11 separated by less than a second out on track. Very similar to what we saw last night in TTL F1, be it the times in TTL F1 were quicker. And of course, we come into Spain. It looks very similar conditions to what we saw in qualifying. And obviously, strategies is going to come to the forefront here. Everyone going to be starting pretty much on a set of mediums or on a set of hard compound of tyres. Where do you expect the first pit stops to be made?
It's actually a really good question, because it can vary, you know, depending on how you save your tires. But generally with the mediums, you can actually go for 15, 16 laps, and then you go 17 laps on the hards. But you can easily do an undercut. I mean, the hards will not struggle to get till the end. So probably we'll see some undercuts going on in this race, but maybe some drivers will try the overcut. So the pit window will vary depending on the driver.
Yeah, just having a look at some of the comments that are coming through, and this is the first chance where I've really had to had a look at the comment section actually tonight. Good evening to everyone that is tuning in, to the 13 viewers that are having a look. Just a bit of news actually about Atlas Coppo, who's starting in 17th position. He's just recovered from surgery. He had his tailbone removed, and he's driving after 2 days. I think, honestly, that deserves an absolute round of applause for Atlas Coppo. Even making it here is an absolute godsend, and obviously he's starting 17th position, but hopefully we're going to see him finish the race, and that'll be a real achievement in itself. Looking then at some of the other comments that are coming through, Key was saying corner 14 and 15 was a killer for him. He's on second on the grid though, so he's done quite well. And Martin and Kristen Underwood saying, everyone, watch Sky F1 channel last Sunday when they broadcast the Formula 2019 race. All drivers were F1 and F2 drivers, commentators and sportsmen. Compared to TTTV, it was awful. I think we'll take that as a bit of a compliment, I think. Obviously, we're coming into the formation lap. I'm about halfway through the lap now, out on track. Majority of the guys on a set of medium tyres, but do you not think the hard is a quicker strategy around here when like the likes of Mashiro, who's starting in 11th position, he surely is going to be, with the cloud cover as it is, surely Mashiro is going to be the chief gainer early on.
I mean, definitely we should keep an eye on Mashiro. I think that with the pace that he has and the consistency that he always shows, he will be for sure a serious contender for the win. And just before they get to their grid spot, I want to ask you, who do you think the podium will be?
Oh, I saw that question coming from an absolute mile off. I think Key will take it. I think Key will make it 2 out of 2. We should see a good battle again between him and Storm. Storm for second for me. I don't think Daniil has got the pace early on to try and lie up with this, but if I was to go for third, I'd put Mashiro in there.
Interesting. I would actually put Mashiro for the victory. I don't know why, but I have that intuition. But we can see that everyone is getting into the grid spot, and in an instant we'll get the red lights going on.
Here we go. 5 red lights then about to go out for round 2 of TTL F1 League 2 here in Spain. Long hold on the lights, but it's lights out and away we go. Good start by Daniil, Keeg and Storm and Hades. In fact, it's a very good start as well. Could be 3 wide for second position down towards turn 1. Little bit of lag there as Keeg goes side by side with Daniil down into turn 1. 2 by 2 they go. Front leaders are through. Everyone taking it easily further down the field. McLaren cutting across the track is Mashiro. Everyone though very clean through, and that's what we like to see. Atlas Coppo and Shumi
we're taking it
easily. Oh, Mashiro round in the background. Good spot there. Mashiro round in the background of shot, but Daniil leads the way early on. Jeffrey has dropped down through the field as well, so not sure what has happened to him. I think he's got caught up on the curb through turn 4 possibly, but Daniil now through turn 6 leads the way, and he's held on to the lead, and the top 3 have remained as they are. Good start by Hades and a good start by Pariah. I think most of the front guys, the top 6, have remained as they are off the start, as Hades is really on the back of Storm. As we go on board camera, is Pariah going to try and launch this one down the inside? Nearly launching it down the inside as Axnes tries to go for the move and hits the bollard off camera. So Axnes hitting the bollard there, but Daniil 6/10 away, and this is an advantage I think around Spain. The leader now beginning to pull away on the first lap. This will really ensure that this is going to be a real test out on track, and I think Daniil has done well on this lap to hold the lead of the race. Through lap 1 we go, and Daniil leads from Key in second, Storm in third, Hades in fourth, Pariah fifth. They all fly through camera shot. Conti is on the back of Lord Holton. This is for 8th and 9th position. Can the Red Bull get the move done down the inside? The Dutchman against the Norwegian. He is down the inside of him. Conti very late on the brakes there. Can he get the move done? Round the outside, nearly into the gravel. How on earth did he keep that? What a move! Conti has pulled off that one. What an amazing move that is. Passelt is trying to go down the inside of Lord Holton as well. He backs off. And a little bit of contact there. Maximus just misjudging Passelt's braking point, I think, there. And Passelt has been spun round. Maximus is fighting with Billy, who's trying to go around the outside of him. A little bit of lag, actually, from Billy. But out on track, some very good action. Unfortunate, I think, with that contact with Maximus and Passelt. Probably going to be down as a racing incident as he gets down the inside of Billy for P10. Daniil leads the way though. What a race it has already been.
Yeah, definitely exciting first 2 laps, you know, many incidents going on. Machiro just going into the gravel, puzzles being pushed by Maximus, and we have only had 2 laps, so we still have plenty of race to go. So probably lots of action that we still that we have to see.
Plenty of racing to go, and lap 3 will bring the enabling of the DRS. Running down the straight as Hades tries to catch Storm for 3rd position. Running down the straight, he's within the slipstream, but he's not going to be close enough down towards turn 1. And I think Shumi and Maze are going side by side. They are. Shumi down the inside. I think he's going to get the move done on Maze. So Shumi gets the move done on a set of hards, beginning to make his way through the field. Quite an easy move that on Maze.
Yeah, definitely. And we just saw replay on the action between Puzzles and Maximus.
Sorry to cut in. Maximus is down the inside of Lord Holton, and a little bit of lag being kicked up here. Again, this is what we've seen before in the lobbies for TTL. I'm not sure if it's a glitch within the game. I think it might be my connection, to be honest, because Maximus is on the back of Lord Holton, but Lord Holton is through and he's into 9th position. I'm not sure what's going on. It's PG18 here in Spain.
In my camera it was much worse. Oh, it definitely is much worse than in yours.
Is it a desync between them both?
Yeah, it's like, well, it's plus 18 content, I would say.
That's what we don't want to
definitely...
see. We definitely don't want to see that on the stream, to be honest. But
no.
Go on.
No, I was saying, yeah, it was probably lagging between them two, and we can see
Here
that
comes Storm.
Daniel said the fastest lap. Oh yeah,
Storm down the inside of Key, trying to go for the move. Oh, he tried to go for the move. I think he had a half back out moment, but he wanted to try and commit the move anyways. We've got Lord Holton and Maximus still going side by side, PG18 in the background there, but Hades is trying to, he's just lost a little bit of time actually. Hades through turn 3, losing a little bit of time, but Daniil beginning to get away, and what's most important I think at this stage, and we must stress this, Daniil now getting away, and these two battling behind will let Daniil get a buffer over the rest of the field when he comes into the pit lane. That is the most important thing out of this.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, and I would also say that Mashiro right now, he doesn't need to panic. I mean, he's at the back, you know, but he's still...
Right foot into the wall! Conti, heavy impact into the wall. He just got caught on the outside curve. I saw that from riding on board actually with Key, I think it was riding on board with, and honestly, that's a very hard impact for the Red Bull driver, and Conti out of the race, and Mashiro has been overtaken by Jeffrey down the inside, and Mashiro trying to fight the car, but he's running down in 16th position. The current champion of TTSL, now of course TTL F1 League 2, really finding the effects here as he tries to go down the inside of turn 14, never going to pull that one off, but out on track.
Maximus defending from...
Oh, and
I don't...
well, kind of defending from Lord Holton. He's got through somehow.
Yeah, I mean, it's weird what's happening, you know, you cannot commentate over that. But yeah, definitely they are having an interesting battle. Definitely. I mean, well, behind Mace going for the move down the inside from the Hazard. I think that has a bit of damage, and he's been overtaken by all the drivers. As we can see, the Alfa Romeo going down the inside, and I think the Hazard just went deep.
Yeah, Tom into the grass. Oh, nearly rejoins, nearly making contact there with Jeffrey. Very fortunate, and yeah, you're right. Left side end plate damage is missing off the back of the front of Tom's car, I should say. Mashiro has managed to reclaim 13th position in the meantime. He's gone past Atlas Coppo, who of course is back from his surgery out on track, and he is doing a good job, and he's getting a couple of positions as Jeffrey runs wide there in P15, and he's just losing contact with a little bit of a train in behind. Lord Holton and Maximus will not focus on. We'll focus on Hades though, who's on the back of Storm. Storm now losing the DRS actually to Key, and he has indeed lost that DRS to Key, and that is why, because Key has just set the fastest lap of the race. Hades then trying to gain on Storm down towards turn 1. Hades from a mile back could come down the inside, but he's not going to pull off the move, and we could have a 3-wide scenario. Here comes Billy on Maximus and Lord Holton trying to go down the inside. He's got one. Can he get the other? He's got Lord Holton, he goes up into 9th position, and I think good reading of the scenario, but Billy's pace down the straight, there's something else.
Yeah, definitely, and we can see behind Mashiro going down the inside of Maid on turn 1, and now he's up to 12, and if he wants to have a chance of podium, he needs to overtake Shumi as quickly as possible, because he can lose a lot of time if he doesn't get rid of Shumi in this lap.
Both of them on the same strategy as well, so they will probably compromise each other's races if they do decide to battle. But looking at the pace, Mashiro just looks a hell of a lot quicker compared to Shumi as we come down towards turn 7 and 8, right on board with Mashiro, just getting caught on the inside curve there slightly. But he's right on the back of Shumi, and I think he's probably going to try and line up a move down towards turn 10. Is the inside line going to be forgiving to him? He is going to go for the inside line, and he's much later on the brakes, and that's probably the easiest move you might see all night, as Mashiro has got the move done. He ran a little bit deep, but he got the move done. He's up to 11th, and now he's in clear out to catch Lord Holton.
Yeah, I mean, he has free space to go for Lord Holton, and probably the advantage that now Mashiro has is that he has a pretty good pace. You know, I think those hearts still have plenty of laps to go, and now the drivers ahead will start to lose time bit by bit, and they will start to fight, so that will be a big opportunity for Mashiro to try and catch up.
Atlas Coppo just getting past Maze there. Beautiful helicopter cam actually as we ride on board. Atlas Coppo is through on Maze. A very, very comprehensive move there by Atlas Coppo. Clean as you like. Maze didn't really put up any fight and was done halfway down the straight. So Atlas Coppo up into 13th position. Daniil still holding on out on track, and for your benefit to everyone that is viewing, there are the positions in the race. Top 6 have remained as they are. Most positions gained, interestingly, right from the back of the grid. Shumi, and to be honest, I'm not surprised because of what happened in the midfield on lap 1.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, it's definitely not surprising. I agree totally with you there.
Looking at Daniil as he comes through the final corner to start on lap 8. As Billy has gone through on Maximus, I do believe. Yeah, Billy has got the move done. Surely that was not down in towards turn 13 where he got that move done. But Billy is through on Maximus. I didn't see where that happened out on track. I was paying more attention to the battle for second than anything else. But Billy has got past Maximus on track, and he's through, and he's up to 8th position. Good move.
Yeah, definitely Billy and Maximus and Lord Holton having their push, like pull and push, you know, trying to defend that 8th position, but probably they should try and focus to get Charlie, because I mean they have a long race ahead and they could easily fight for something else than 8th, you know. As we can see right now, Storm really close from Kiki, as we can see that Hades is also trying to follow these guys.
He's trying too much to follow these guys. A 3-second time penalty and a wheel into the gravel as well for good measure. So Hades just beginning to over-push it, I think, out on track. But he is on the back of Storm and he's not too far off. But the top 4 are staying really consistent. And if anything, it's benefiting Daniil again.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, for a few laps, it seemed like Kiki was actually catching Daniel. I think he actually got to be 1.3 behind Daniel, but suddenly he lost again all that time that he was gaining on Daniel. I don't know if he's trying to defend from Storm and that's affecting his pace, but definitely it's not doing good.
Yeah, Hades is still trying to get onto the back. It's 2.3 seconds. Key losing the time. I'm thinking he might be saving up his ERS. Yeah, looking at it, it's 16% in terms of ERS difference. Key on Daniil, it's actually about nearly 20% there. But Daniil might have just used up the ERS early on in the race to try and get away, then trying to keep the gap without using any ERS at all, and that's why Key and Storm are beginning to struggle to try and catch Daniil ahead. I think that might be a pretty plausible reason to seeing why Daniil is quite a far away ahead. 2.2 seconds as we see Hades again just overrunning it through turn 9. But Jeffrey, by the way, has gone into the pits. He's on a set of hard compound of tyres now. 24 laps on a set of hards. Is it manageable for Jeffrey?
I think Yeah, definitely. If it's Jeffrey, you can do it, but definitely 24 laps is pretty doable. You know, it's the hards. You don't struggle here with the hards. You can easily do 26 laps if you want it with the hards.
Tell you what, Billy is right on the back of Charlie. This is for 7th and 8th position out on track. Phenomenal run out the final corner. I think Billy could have Charlie here down the straight. Look at the speed of this has. He's definitely got a straight line speed set up in this car, because Billy has absolutely sailed past Charlie as if he wasn't there, really. Round the outside line, job done, down into turn 1. A little bit of lag, but Billy's through.
Yeah, nice move by Billy. He had an amazing exit, and yeah, when you have that difference in straight line speed with DRS, it's really easy to make the move. And we can see that now Maximus probably will try to make the move work as quick as possible, because he knows that if he loses too much time here, Billy could actually go away, you know, and Maximus doesn't want that, you know. He probably feels that he has Billy's pace, so he will try his best to try and overtake Charlie in the DRS zone.
Just looking at from Maximus's point of view, it looks as if Charlie's rears are beginning to wear, because you can tell significantly that there's a blister down the middle of the tyre. I think I can see a blister down that left one. Oh, Maximus
definitely.
has lost it! Maximus has lost it on the curb. That, unfortunately, has been caught on stream for him, and that is not one that he wants to look back on at all. Maximus just getting caught on the curb purely. He rejoins track in a safe manner. Shumi just coming through behind him. I think Passels has gone through on Mays, who might have made a mistake. I think Mays, yeah, he's been into the gravel, so Mays has had a moment, I think, out of turn 9, and that's why Passels is now ahead of him, and he's got left side end plate damage as well.
Yeah, so unfortunate, but I think you were calling it. I mean, they were already starting to struggle with the tires, and probably that was a result of that. He just touched the curb and he just lost it. So unfortunate for Maximus, but we could actually predict that happening.
I don't know how on earth this has happened, but the gap for the lead is now a second. How?
Definitely, I mean, suddenly Kiki hasn't been pushing too much. I mean, we can see that his ERS is almost the same. Might Daniel struggle with the tires?
I think Daniel's made a mistake somewhere out on track, because that gap was about 2.3 seconds the last time I looked. To lose 1.3 seconds in a lap, essentially, is not really the best thing to do. I think Daniel's made a mistake, possibly through turns 1 and 2, and again he just runs a little bit wide there through the final corner. Key is just out of DRS range. Somebody that is within DRS range, though, is Storm, and Axnez as well, and Pariah going to be looking quite close down the straight. Storm not going to get the move done though. Run lap 12 out of 33. If you're just tuning in now, where on earth have you been? As we're going to see Axnez, I think, go through here on Pariah, down the straight through to turn 1. Pariah holds the inside line and he holds on to 5th position. I think Axnez was just trying to maybe switch it back, and that's why we saw a little bit of a change in line from him. Pariah always going to defend that position, but out on track, I think the action, apart from Conti being out of the race, has been very good.
Yeah, definitely. And one thing that I want to mention is that Kiki should do the undercut now. I mean, Daniel is having issues. Definitely Kiki has the ERS to actually go for the undercut, and he has to take the chance. I mean, Daniel seems weak right now. I don't know why, if it's the tires or he's just struggling. But definitely Kiki needs to pit right now. I mean, the house can go easily 21 laps, so he has to take the chance.
I've got to be honest, since you've said that, he's opened up his ERS and now the gap's out for 1.5 seconds. I think it's purely been a case of ERS management for Daniil, and Daniil is into the pits. So Daniil into the pits from the lead of the race. Key follows him in. Storm is continuing on, possibly to try and go for the overcut. Hades is in, so that means Pariah and Axnez will continue on, and Axnez is nowhere near on the back of Pariah as we come down the straight. Billy, though, is really creeping into this race, and I've got to be honest, out on track, if there's anybody that can try and pull off a bit of an overcut out on track, he's getting closer, is Billy. On! Pariah and Axnez make contact, and Billy's left the session. Billy has left the session, and Pariah and Axnez have made contact through turns 2 and 3. Axnes, I'm not sure what happened there. It was too far off on the camera angle. It looked to me as if Axnes had touched the back end of Pariah, and that is what happened with Pariah, and that is why he is facing into the wall. I think I saw that. That might be one for the replay cameras, that.
Yeah, maybe it is. I mean, I couldn't catch it, so I'm not really sure what happened. But probably if it was an incident between them two, that could be investigated because, or maybe he just lost it. I mean, I'm not really sure what happened there.
It looked like Axnes was getting closer, visibly down the straight, and to me, I was running ball. I think I was running ball with Billy at the time, and it looked to me as if Axnes had touched the back end of Pariah. I might be unsure. I'm very unsure about that. You'll have to watch out for that. Mashiva was round through turn 11.